DPW to share their project. I will open it up to questions at a point before moving to conservation, but there will be a time for the appellant group with the citizens group to ask questions or state concerns. So I ask if there's questions or concerns of that matter to leave it to your time, just to have a little bit of flow here as we move through the conversation, just because we are such a large group. Next.
Yeah, respectfully, we gave our overview, and a number of the questions that are being asked are in our application and were discussed at the public meeting.
Yeah, and on that front, which is great to know, our process is a de novo review, meaning we start from scratch, from the beginning, in consideration. But it is good, if there's things that are in the documents that are available, that's good to state them, and then I can find them as well. Okay, and what is the and I saw that you guys had some graphical depictions of it, but what is the cone of depression estimated for this drawdown?
So the radius of influence is 850 feet from the center line of the excavation.
And that meaning like that after that 850 feet, there's no drawdown noted?
Correct.
Correct, okay.
That's down from 1,200 feet from the previous attempt, is that correct?
1,200 feet, I'm not
That's
following.
based on the evaluation that was provided in the application.
The 850?
Correct.
Yeah.
The application was submitted when?
As part of this notice of intent.
When?
I don't know the date of the
July.
application. It was July,
Was it
yeah.
July?
August, I don't remember when it was.
Yeah, so I understand that there's the concern with the pumping that occurred before this permit process started. With the department here today, our focus and our authority is on the appeal of the order of conditions. So any sort of concern for activity that happened before is not something that I have jurisdiction on in this moment of time. Right now, we're just reviewing the order that was appealed and the reasons that it was appealed and the project as a whole. But, okay, so drawdown, the 850 feet. And the discharge is being dewatered from the 265.
Correct, there's a
Cross-
frac tank at 45 Mitchell's Way.
One more time?
There's a frac tank at 45 Mitchell's Way, which we'll see on the sidewalk, with filter bags set up.
Yeah, can you describe the filtering system for me?
So there's a header system that connects the 3 wells into the frac tank, and from the frac tank goes into secondary containment, and then beyond the secondary containment goes into discharge on Betty's Pond.
It goes over land about 50 feet prior to the pond.
Okay, so it's discharged
It's
into the
discharged
buffer zone?
into the buffer zone and then into
Okay.
the pond, correct.
And is there control in place from the outfall, like any riprap or to control flow coming out of?
So there's no active flow right now.
Sure, but
Yeah,
planned?
correct. The proposal calls for erosion control.
Okay. At the discharge point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there is.
Explain that.
There are erosion control barriers, so we called for, I think there was silt fence called for. So there's erosion control along the Linnework that was proposed, and then we also offered an additional erosion control barrier further down gradient as part of the public meeting. Which that hasn't been cited yet, but that would be part of the pre-construction walkthrough.
Okay.
To determine where that goes.
Okay. But like from the source of flow from the discharge pipe into the buffer zone?
Yeah, so the discharge pipe goes directly into the frac tank,
Okay,
and then the frac tank allows it to settle, allows sediment to settle out of it if there's any sediment within it. Once the system's up and running, there is minimal sediment that is within that water. It then leaves the frac tank and goes into the filter bags that are out there.
Yep.
From the filter bags, it will flow out. It's really hard to see because it's small, but it is set up out there, so you can
yeah,
see it.
okay. What are the filter bags are for sedimentation control?
Yeah, they're for secondary containment, so
Okay.
it's a secondary area, and then it just flows out of that.
So groundwater's going directly from excavation, dewatering, being pumped into the system where we're settling out sediments, before discharging.
That's correct.
Okay. And this is a little bit more in the weeds of like what your construction protocol ends up looking like, but so it's 900 gallons per minute, it's about max 16 weeks. Do you have like a time, like construction per day? Like obviously it's not, is it 16 weeks?
We are expecting it to be
continuous?
a shorter duration than 16 weeks,
Yep.
but we applied for 16 weeks. I think we presented a improved schedule at the Conservation Commission hearings of what we expect it to be. Again, we always are conservative with our estimates.
Yeah.
However, when the wells, there's 3 wells, and when they each are 300 gallons a minute.
Mhm.
So it would be the total of 900 gallons a minute. So we would expect once they turn on, that is what the flow rate would be.
Continuous.
Correct.
Okay.
That is needed to dig the excavation for the wet well. After we backfill the wet well, we have 2 shallower structures that need to be constructed that are immediately adjacent to it. One's called the valve vault and one's a sewer manhole. They are shallower, so we anticipate we would turn off a well,
Okay.
depending upon the groundwater conditions at the
Yep.
time. So there may be a reduced flow rate once we have installed the wet well,
Okay.
tested it, and backfilled
Can I
it.
just interrupt?
Yes.
When you're talking, could you please talk so your voice is projected to everyone? It's hard to hear.
Okay.
Thank you.
Greg, do you have any questions about the dewatering or?
Nothing I can think of right now.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
I heard that Betty's Pond has the highest PFAs at Cape Cod. I don't know if that's true, but whatever's down there, has there been studies of what they're be pumping in more into Betty's Pond? Because there's been a history that needs to be, I mean, are we analyzing, do we have Woods Hole analyzing the water a water analysis of how this is going to affect the wildlife in our wetlands?
PFAS content.
There's a monitoring requirement in the order of conditions.
And that
But again,
is,
to the,
how detailed?
It's not very detailed, it's just an initial test.
We're required to monitor and report.
Yeah, but is that public information going to see what
We don't have the
monitoring is being
information now
done?
because the construction hasn't commenced.
That's fine, but
yeah,
can we
it-
make sure it's public so that we'd like to know the details
It
of
would
that?
be, it has to be reported to the Conservation Commission.
Thank you. You mean after the fact?
The way it's written is, it's one test. That's the way it's written.
Yeah.
No, it's one in advance and then
During
there's
construction.
there's requirements during construction as well, and then
so there
after
would be
construction.
PFAS testing.
That
It's
is,
not written
that is
that way. That's your
included in the
intent.
order of conditions.
Part of the reason for the appeal is that the PFAS testing is not explicit.
So, and just to, so we're dewatering the site and going directly from the groundwater and getting some sedimentation treatment.
Correct.
And discharging. The groundwater is there that, so we're not doing anything else to the groundwater opposed from just pulling it out.
Correct.
So besides of what's in the groundwater, is there any sort of outside contaminant where PFAS could get in?
There is not.
Okay. So we're just going kind of directly, instead of it flowing down gradient to the pond.
Correct.
We're kind of pulling it out and doing it subsurface.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that water that they're pulling out has been tested?
No, it's just the groundwater, so it's what's naturally in the ground.
So we're taking clean, natural water and putting it into a pond with PFAS?
Yeah.
Well, it's the other way around.
The water that we're taking from the ground ultimately flows through the groundwater to Betty's Pond. It's the same water.
It's the same water that we
Yes,
drink?
It goes there.
But
It
it's
doesn't, it is not drinking water.
No.
It's
in
not within a
different-
drinking water source
It's in a
area.
different, rate of speed. That water coming out of those filter bags is coming out and it's coming out fast.
Mhm.
So it's eroding some of the, streamland that's there. You've got the stream that's down below, and you've got the edges of the stream, and it's going down there, and it's washing away some of the banks.
Yeah.
Which is washing junk into the water. I looked at the site, there was paper cups, there was trash that nobody picked up.
Yeah, and so that's addressed in the order of conditions. We're required to clean up any trash that's on the site prior to starting construction. And we are required to install a secondary erosion sediment control barrier.
I get that, but
So-
when the dewatering wasn't
Permitted.
honest from the beginning, how can we as residents of the town trust the town to do the right thing?
The legal thing.
Well, we have an order of conditions that we need to comply
That
with.
doesn't matter, they didn't have a dewatering the first time.
First time.
No permit.
Don't shake your head, you're part of that.
He is.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a thumbs up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say the water's being filtered through the bags, what is it filtered?
It's removing sediment, any sediment that's within the water.
What sediment?
So we're pumping water from the ground,
Right.
from a well in the ground, right? There can be sediment that gets into the water during that process. Usually that's early on, when we first turn the pumps on, there is sediment that you'll see, and then as you continue pumping, sediment's very minimal, but this is the typical setup that you would have in order to ensure that there's not excess sediment with